You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
To play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Right, Chris.
All right. Good evening. Good day. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good night. Goodbye. Hello. Got the right colour shirt on for the show. Could be a waste of time. I mean, only Leicester could literally be after only one player, and less than an hour to go, we're hitting legal problems. Well, I tell you what, it was probably harder to get Senzi into Leicester City than it was to get Nathan out of Rebecca. Gotta say, hi to Doug. How the devil are you, sir? It's been ages.
It has been a while, mate, but thank you very much for asking me to be on this evening. I am doing fantastically. I have never been so happier. Being a father is honestly the best thing I could possibly have imagined. And yeah, it's just great to be back on because I can't remember the last time I was on here. So no, thank you very much for asking me, and I really hope you are well as well.
I am very well, thank you very much. It may well have been the actual Euro group stage draw, I think. That might have been the last time.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, good evening to Nate. How are you? It says, evening, Chris and Doug. Spencer, we are a club like no other. Aren't we? So, I mean, we're going to, obviously, Doug will fill us in with a lot of other transfers that have been going on. But I mean, what do you think when you look at Leicester? I mean, everybody has said, like, you know, oh, you're the PSG of the Championship. You got all this money, then you're going to get the parachute payments, and you bend over, you fart, and £1 million comes out your arse, and yet we can't get a £2 million signing over the line. Embarrassing.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, isn't it? Like, you basically got like the whole window to like find a target, and then the final day, the final few hours, you get into legal problems. It's obviously, I know from like past transfer windows. Obviously, Adrian Silva was a key one for you guys. I've known Liverpool to be like this as well. We had. Back in 2012, I think it was, we had someone called Yevgen Konoplyanka, who we thought was in Liverpool, but turned out to be back in Ukraine. So, unfortunately, these things happen. With a bit an hour to go, it's looking really, really unlikely. But these things happen, as we said, anything can happen on deadline day.
It can indeed. And I remember Tom Cannon in the summer transfer window going to bed at 11 o'clock, waking up the next morning, and we'd signed him. And we hadn't at 11 o'clock. It's all down to the paperwork, etc., etc. It is. I mean, I said at the start of we did a lot of winter transfer business in the summer. You know, we've got the money. We're not short of money. Yes, we've got loans to pay off, but we got nearly £100 million in for 3 players and a bit for Hurst as well from Ipswich over the summer. It's all about FFP.
Yeah.
You know, and excuse me, I said, and I think it was the 1st January post that I wrote because I do the BBC Fans View on a Tuesday on the website, BBC website, and I said if we don't sign anybody, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I think if you look at what Leicester have done this season, you're flying high, very very much so in the Championship, and I think you've got a very very good squad. I think the biggest success of this window would definitely be keeping Kieran and Dewsbury Hall, because I think when I saw those Brighton rumours, I was like, okay, I couldn't see Brighton spending the money that you were looking for, and then obviously look at what happened to Brighton the other night. They lost 4-0 to Luton Town. So I think the biggest success for this window for you guys would definitely be keeping Kieran and Dewsbury Hall.
I don't think he's going at this stage. I think we would have heard a lot more by now, and I think as well. All right, well, if we've got £30 million for Barnes, then Dewsbury Hall is worth at least that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I just think, all right, we need to sell before we can bring players in because of the FFP, but would we lose more by selling KDH to get Senzi in?
I think, if we're being honest, I think keep him until the summer at least, because I think you're getting a very good player in Kieran and Dewsbury Hall, who, every time I see Leicester play this season, he's always been in and amongst the action. And I think as well, he's been such an important player for you guys. So I think keeping him till the summer he'll probably go for like a big fee in the summer, or the opposite might happen. He potentially might go for he might sign a new contract. You just never know. But I think keeping him right now, basically having that important player to basically get you across the line for promotion and obviously the title itself, I think that would be very very key.
Yeah, and I think as well, if we were to sell him, any money we get for him would be less than we would make by going up to the Premier League. And I think if we get rid of him, it could jeopardise us getting into the Premier League.
Yeah, especially with you like losing Cassidy as well. I actually forgot he was back at Chelsea, and then I seen him last night come on against us last night, and I was like, oh. Aren't you supposed to be at Leicester?
Well, he obviously didn't help much, did he?
No, I mean, I know we're kind of going and sort of drifting aside, but yeah, that could have been easily 8 or 9-1. Liverpool were fantastic last night. So yeah, I think losing Cassidy and back to Chelsea, keeping Dewsbury Hall would be a very very good window.
I mean, because Cassidy, to me, he wasn't a regular and hadn't. Oh my God. It's Wolves 3, Man United 3. They were 3-1 down a minute ago. Honestly, Manchester United, the club that just keep giving and giving and giving. And they're still playing, so there's still time for it to go either way. Yeah, I mean, Cassidy, yes, he scored a couple of goals. He scored on his debut, which always makes you think, oh. Indeed, he got injured, and I think he was Enzo's preferred choice to fill that role. But, he wasn't, out of everybody that we signed, whether permanent or on loan, he was probably the one that had made the least impact. And that probably wasn't his fault. It was just that everybody else has come in and done so well. We've got Eunice, who we'd got on as a winger, but he can play in the middle, and he's very, very good. Indeed, he obviously is going to come back. And I think if we go, problem is it all depends at the end of the season where we are as to who will go, who will stay, etc., etc. Yeah. But I can remember, excuse me, when Newcastle were one of your heroes, I think it was Kevin Keegan in charge. They were 11 points clear of Man United and got to the window and they bought, it might not have even been the window then, and they bought a Sprilla in.
Yes.
Who, fantastic player, absolutely got some great goals, but it disrupted the team.
Mm.
And then Man United slowly, week by week, clawed it back. And suddenly this unstoppable Newcastle wasn't quite as unstoppable. And that's my big worry. We are doing so well. Don't want to upset the apple cart too much. And we've got a good squad.
You have a very good squad. I did see as well, is it Harry Suter? I've seen links to Leeds.
United have scored.
Oh, trust them, eh?
96 and a half. Well, nearly just going up to 97 minutes.
I trust that. But yeah, I saw obviously links for Harry Suter to Leeds, but I've seen nothing's happening there. Yeah. So again, keep the bulk of your squad. And as you said, you've got a very, very good squad to go for the rest of the season.
I think so. And I think we did, like I say, we just did so. I mean, we had to let a load leave because they were overpriced, overpaid for how good they were, and they had to go. The likes of Marty, etc. But we signed, a good, double figures, so. It was never going to be a busy window. And I don't like the January window anyway, because let's be honest with you, most window, January windows, you only buy in because suddenly you're desperate.
Yeah.
You're paying over the odds for somebody that you wouldn't really have bought unless you'd got an injury or something. So I don't like the January window at all.
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't know about you, Chris, but for me, nothing's really happened in this window.
No.
A lot of clubs are definitely hampered by FFP. I think it's safe to say that, and I think as well, a lot of clubs are looking at what has happened to obviously Everton and Nottingham Forest to see what has happened, and obviously they don't want them to happen to them. So I think it's been a very, very quiet window, and I'm like you. The January window for me is just one of those where it's very, very overpriced. Clubs are wanting over the top money. I mean, look at blooming Chelsea, for example. Like, they wanted 50 million quid for Armando Broja. Yeah. 10, 12, 15 years ago, that would have got you Fernando Torres from Liverpool.
I know. And I just think as well, I think a lot of it is fan-led. A lot of fans are out there going like, it's January. It's a January window. We've got to buy somebody. Oh, if we haven't bought anybody, we're going to struggle. We'll sack the board, sack the manager, sack the recruitment guy, just because it's a window. When, if you've got a lot of youngsters coming through, why do you need to bring these players in? And we've got £100 million training facility. We've got some great youngsters. Let's bring them through.
Absolutely. And you look at what we're doing at the moment. Like, we've got young Connor Bradley coming through the youth, and look what happens when you show faith in youth. Connor Bradley scores his first ever goal for Liverpool last night.
Yeah,
puts in 2 assists.
Yeah.
So, and this is the thing. Obviously, we've had Trent come through, we've had Curtis Jones come through, Harvey Elliott, now Connor Bradley. It's all about giving youth a chance.
And then you got something like Chelsea, and all they're doing is selling, their homegrown players off.
It's ridiculous. Honestly, I don't know what they've spent that £1 billion on, mate.
Honestly, I wonder. They're worse off than they were before they spent it. But look, it's I don't know. It's silly. While we're just waiting to see if anything happens on Leicester, with a big elephant in the room, Klopp.
Yes.
Now, I was surprised. I think most people were. That said, I totally understand it. Look, sometimes you just need to get away. As somebody who retired in April last year, and I've had the best 11 months of my life, 10 months, whatever it is, of my recent life. So I understand him saying, look, I need a break. I need a rest, because you don't get any holidays really, do you? It's throughout the summer. Should it have been announced when it was?
I mean, I don't think there's any any sort of good time to sort of announce this. Look, I'll be obviously indebted to what Jurgen Klopp has done at Liverpool. He's completely transformed us. We were a club that was fighting in mid-table obscurity to a club now that's fighting for Champions League, fighting for league titles. He has done a magnificent job. And if it hadn't been for the fact that we were up against this Manchester City side, who obviously, allegedly, I'm not going to say anything FFP with them.
Sorry,
they're a juggernaut.
Sorry, that's my solicitor. Yeah, don't worry, you said allegedly. You're all right.
If it hadn't been for Manchester City, then I think Klopp would have probably had 2 or 3 more league titles. The fact that we're ahead in the league at the moment is very, very good, but we still have obviously Manchester City to obviously fight against. I'm gutted, but I totally get why he wants to leave, and I totally get why Pep Linders wants to leave as well. It's going to be a bit of a summer of change for Liverpool. But I totally get why he wants to go.
Totally understand. And he should go, with the best wishes. And it looks like it's going to be a good season. And it's always good to go out on a high, because we have to remember that the season you have when you leave the club as a manager is what you're remembered for. And Brendan Rodgers, you had him, we had him. You were quite right. 4 seasons in, and he's rubbish. We should have listened to you, but there we go. No, all joking aside, though, what he's remembered for is getting us relegated. What he isn't remembered for necessarily is 2 top 5 finishes. The FA Cup. I was watching that the other day. He did that for us, but he won't be remembered for that. He'll be remembered for that last season when it was all going wrong. So fair play to him, sort of wanted to get out. I'm just concerned from sort of Liverpool's point of view. When we won the league, when Leicester won the league, and just to remind you, we did manage to do that before Liverpool did. Sorry, I just thought I'd drop that into the conversation.
It's all right.
When we won the league, I mean, Klopp had just come in that year, I think, and it was still upheaval for you. Arsenal were just being Arsenal. Tottenham obviously tried to keep up with us and couldn't. And Manchester City announced that Pellegrini was leaving. I think it was sort of March time, if my memory serves me right. And then Manchester City just didn't seem to give a damn. And that's my only worry, is that players will just think like, well, why do I have to have, he's not going to be here next season. Why should I play for him? Hopefully they have more respect for him.
Yeah, I think you've kind of seen as well that over the January, I think we won 6 out of the 7 games in January. I think the players are definitely playing for Klopp. They obviously know that he's going to be leaving as well, and I think they just want to give him the best sort of send off to send him back to Germany. And look, Klopp has been amazing for the Premier League. I think he's been a breath of fresh air. I know people are I know people don't kind of like him, and obviously press conferences, but off the pitch, you see what he does with charity. You see what he does with people with additional support needs. He has been absolutely magnificent for the city of Liverpool.
Totally. And it's like anything else. I was watching the other day a collection of his press conference, and he's funny. And look, any manager you see, I can turn around here and make a case to say that I absolutely love Nigel Pearson. Because I was lucky enough to meet him a couple of times, not in his sort of, see him in a separate. Same with Sven, as you know, a lovely man he was. Even Ian Holloway, who the fans, hate, and Craig Levein for what they did at the club, met them both sort of in a mascot situation with his son, and they were absolutely lovely. It is sort of, that thing, but I'm just wondering if now, is this so do you think that you're going to start looking at other managers now? Obviously, if you've been doing that while Klopp was in charge, because it would have got out, in the best will in the world, it would have got out. Now you don't have to hide behind anything. You can say, look, Klopp's leaving. We're approaching these people through agents in the proper way. So there's, you haven't got any of that sort of lurking.
Yeah, and I think as well. I think something's been lined up. I think there's definitely been something lined up. I don't know, obviously behind the scenes as well, but I do think that it is looking potentially like it's going to be Alonso. If I'm being honest, I think it will be Xabi Alonso, and I think he is probably the number one sort of favourite. As well. If he wins the league with Bayer Leverkusen against the juggernaut like Bayern Munich, then already he's going to be known as a legend. The job he has done at Bayer Leverkusen has been nothing short but fantastic, because Bayer Leverkusen were in the relegation zone when Xabi Alonso took over, and they're sitting top of the Bundesliga right now.
Yeah. A surprise decision to see that he's leaving. Sorry, is that Alonso, did you say? It is.
Alonso, yeah.
Yeah. He did a fantastic job. Is he leaving? No, it's the Barcelona manager, I think, that said he's leaving, isn't it?
Yeah, Xavi's leaving Barcelona, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that looks, because obviously the Alonso links he's got with Liverpool. And I think the thing I like about Liverpool is I think, if he does come in, there's no guarantee that he's going to do well. That's always the risk with any new manager. I think you'll give him time.
Yeah, we'll definitely give him time. And as well, the fans will know that he was a very, very good player for us. Yes, Nate, they are undefeated. It's quite incredible. It's quite incredible how they're undefeated as well. But yes, I do think we will give him time. The fans will definitely be on board because he's played for us as well. He is a Liverpool player through and through. So someone who knows the club inside out as well. So even if things don't go well in the first season, the fans will definitely be on board. They will definitely give him time to get his players in, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to mention Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as an ex-player going back to manage a club, but it's there. Just want to say, posted here, Sensi deal still possible, even if it goes down to the wire. Don't panic just yet. We're hearing that the deal to bring Sensi to the city is still possible. There's not been much positive news over the past couple of hours, and it seems some issues are still being sorted inside the club. But it's not the case that the deal is off and it's just going down to the wire. It wouldn't be Leicester if it was easy, right? And that is so very true. I mean, Jack Harrison, I think, was the one that we missed out. And honestly, he was on his back with his legs in the air having a lobotomy, and Leeds called him back. So you don't know what's going on. Like I say, it's all the legal bits in it. Luke is just in Sensi tears his ACL, brushing his teeth at Seagrave. Look, Luke. Apparently Daka signed an extension, Luke. That'll wind him up. Mourinho's free.
Yeah, but apparently he wants to go back to Manchester United. So, I actually think it could be the summer of managerial mayhem. Klopp's obviously leaving. Arteta will probably either stay or go from Arsenal. Xavi's leaving Barcelona. I think there could be a few managers on the move. I think.
Yeah, just it could be down to his work permit. That could be the thing that's causing problems.
Why isn't he the work permit?
Well, we're no longer in the EU, are we?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And now, obviously, when you look, he's only played about 3 games this season. So, yeah, it's maybe the mist is clearing over what's happening. And I understand us not wanting. There's no point in us buying a player and crashing the FFP. We got done for it last time we were in the Championship. Where it's Sky Italy, Leicester deal to sign midfielder Stefano Sensi. It still says it's in doubt due to legal issues. So we've been done by FFP when we were 10 odd years ago. We paid the fine. We tried to stick to FFP last season, which was why we bought nobody a couple of summer seasons ago until we sold Fofana. Obviously, Manchester City allegedly looks like Forest and Everton stayed up because they cheated, which meant we went down when we tried to stick to the rules. But, we'd had the warning off. We'd been warned by UEFA that if we qualified, and we had done for the last 2 seasons, so there was no reason to presume that we couldn't qualify for Europe again. But if we did, we could be breaking their rules. So that's why we didn't go out spending. Of course, this is how happened. But hopefully it's one step forward to take two, one back to take 2 forward. I just, like I say, let's not cry if we don't sign anybody. We were linked with that. Who was the guy that you recalled and then you sent him somewhere else?
Fabio Carvalho.
Yes, yeah, that didn't come. We were linked quite heavily with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the thing. The January window is one of the most difficult windows to get players in. I know from memories that obviously we've had Van Dijk in January, we've had Suarez in January, Andy Carroll, and enough said about that. Luis Diaz in January. It's just so difficult to buy in January unless you've literally got scouts watching a player who obviously knows that the player will obviously improve your team. It's a very difficult window. So no, I wouldn't be too sad if you don't get anybody. But it is looking like this Senzi deal is going to go right up to the 11 o'clock deadline, potentially.
We don't know. If the paperwork's in, and this is what happened with Cannon, we got the paperwork in, but the signature was after us, something like that, But we also know, obviously, with Silva, we missed it by 13 seconds. Yeah, as Luke said there, it hasn't been busy because of FFP. And maybe with them actually now, the Premier League actually taking this tough line, although it is against 2 of the smaller clubs, but it is maybe making teams think. What's it been like in Liverpool for your transfer window? Again, with your manager going, has that made it harder? Because who do you get in? With Klopp signings, well, look at Christensen bought in by Ranieri, then brought in by Rodgers, and 6 months later being sent out by Enzo. Has it caused problems with the window for you?
It's fairly quiet. We did most of our business in the summer window because we got Ryan Gravenberch, we got Wataru Endo. What else did we get? Just trying to remember now. Soboslai, we did most of our business in the summer. Basically, it's been mainly loans that have gone out, mostly youngsters that have gone out on loan as well. Basically, players who were obviously on loan beforehand have obviously came back and then obviously gone on other loans. Obviously, Carvalho was at Leipzig, now gone to Hull. Looks like he's doing well there as well. I think Billy Cumetio's gone on loan to Blackburn. Nat Phillips, who was at Celtic, he's gone to Cardiff as well. So, nobody's really left on a permanent deal. No incomings. It's literally just sort of youngsters going out on loan.
Yeah, sorry, I keep seeing breaking news coming up. Former Tottenham midfielder Michael Brown has said the spending caps that the clubs have signed into the agreement says we are not going to break the rules, and they have not done that. Some clubs, Everton and Nottingham Forest, have been charged, and there is possibly more to come. It has changed the outcome for players as well, as it's not easy to get a move. It's created an easy time in the January transfer window. Funny enough, isn't it? So everybody sort of sticks to the rules, and they suddenly find it hard. But like you say, it's almost a case of, well, for me, and I guess to Liverpool as well, because we're both top of our respective leagues, and it's a case of, well, look, you lot sign players to try and catch us up. We don't need to because we're where we are with the players we've got. Yeah,
absolutely. And we're very, very happy with the business we did in the summer. And it's been very, very pivotal to what we're doing this season. And like again, I said, we did our business in the summer. You guys did your business in the summer. So there wasn't really any need to sort of go out and get anybody in January. And to be fair, we haven't really been linked with anybody this window. Not I can see anyway. It's been a very, very quiet window for Liverpool. But again, a window we never really needed to strengthen or anything like that.
To be honest with you, I hate the January transfer window. I really do. I mean, yes, we got Yuri Tillemans on loan, and he proved obviously went on. It is almost like if you're going to get anybody in January, get them in on loan and have a look. Say hi to John Wayne. He's come in. How you doing, John? Hope you are well.
Hi,
John. I'm just looking here. You know, sort of. It has been so quiet. It's been such a weird. Well, normally we're linked with everybody in his dower. You know, I mean, and we've hardly been linked with anybody. You know, there are players who want to get out too. You know, get out. Sutar nearly went in the summer, didn't go. And to Rangers, funnily enough. But he's over in the Far East with the Asia Cup. So, you know, any selling of him is going to be difficult. And I don't see, like, you know, with players we want to go, don't look like they're going. And would we have let him go to a rival in Leeds anyway?
Yeah. I mean, they're one of the sort of the main sort of rivals for, you know, that top six as well. I mean, is Ian Actual still at Leicester?
Yeah, but he's in Africa.
AFCON.
The AFCON, yeah.
So again, like players at like AFCON, players at the Asia Cup, they're not likely to get a move.
No, they're not in. They're concentrating on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just we've still, you know, we got rid of a lot of players at the end of last season, like I say, who were on expensive wages for the standard of their play. We've still got a couple like that, and they will obviously go down. The funny thing was, Everson last year signed a new 5-year deal. Now he's gone to Stoke, and apparently Stoke aren't happy with him. One thing I've just seen come up there, and I meant to ask you about 3 times every time I see it come up, so let me do it. 7 p.m. the Italian deadline for deadline day.
Yeah.
So can we still sign him if their window's shut?
Yes, as long as you literally get the paperwork in by 11 o'clock. It doesn't matter if their window shuts. You can still make a move, basically towards the 11 o'clock deadline. So I think the Senzi deal will definitely be one that goes straight up to the 11 o'clock deadline by the looks of things.
But their window shut at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So can they still sell after that deadline? That's what I'm saying.
Yes, they can.
Kirsten's just added here, the deadline applies to the buying club.
Yeah.
So we could still sell, let's say, for example, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall to... Well, we can't know because Saudi Arabia, that closed yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure. Thank you, Curtin, for that. I appreciate that. And hi to Steve. Look, if I'm going to laugh or cry at Leicester's predicament, there's been a player, and you know who it is, that signed for South Korea in the last couple of hours.
Yes, Jesse Lingard.
That's it. Thank you. I was hoping you'd get it quicker because I couldn't think of his name either. You know, that's how. I mean, my God, he had an offer on the table from West Ham, who are in the playoffs or the knockout rounds of the of the European competition. They're in the top 6 in the Premier League. He turned that down to go to Bournemouth for the money. He's making some bad career decisions. South Korea. I mean, again, Saudi Arabia, I get to a degree, but Korea.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I thought I thought he'd actually had an all right time at West Ham. Goes to Forest, didn't really work out for him there. In fact, it's quite funny to be saying this, but the biggest deal on deadline day is nothing to do with football.
No. Let's talk that. I mean, it's an early announcement because it's not going to happen until 2025. But Lewis Hamilton.
I'm astonished at this. I remember when he was at McLaren. I remember when he was at McLaren, and everyone was saying then, "Oh, he's going to be staying at McLaren for." Hello, Jeff. It's going to be like a McLaren. Like he's going to be staying there until McLaren. No, Mercedes come in. It's going to be so weird seeing him in red.
Yeah.
It just does not look right to me. But I think as well, he is going to have to be used to the fact that he cannot go into Ferrari as a number one driver. He's definitely going to be number two to Charles Leclerc.
Do you think
so? Yeah, I do. Because I think it's already been announced that Carlos Sainz, I think, is leaving to basically go the other way potentially to Mercedes, which again I think would be quite a good big move. But yeah, I think if you're Lewis Hamilton, I think you've got to come to the realization that you're probably not going to win another world title. You're probably going to be on the periphery almost, and yes, you might win a race or two, but Red Bull are way too strong.
They are. I mean, Leclerc is a good driver. He's probably the one out the two Ferrari drivers that have threatened this season. But you're talking about a 7 times world champion going in. He's not going to go in if he's not going to be number one, surely.
We'll wait and see. But it's definitely going to ruffle a few feathers. Let's just say that.
Well, it certainly is. And Paul Merson was saying earlier, and not that obviously he's a god, one knows what he's talking about. But he was saying it's a bit like when Man United come calling. No matter how bad they are at the time, and let's face it, they're not, the top club at the moment. You're still thinking it's Man United. And it's a bit the same with Ferrari, isn't it? You just got to, as a racing driver, you want to wear that red.
Yeah. I think every driver's dream would probably be like a Ferrari. They have been the biggest sort of winners of like F1. Obviously, Michael Schumacher. Like I remember when obviously Michael Schumacher was doing for Ferrari as well. Ferrari is a big name, and you just cannot get away from the fact that if Ferrari come calling, then you do sign for them. And Ferrari have had some amazing drivers throughout the years: Fernando Alonso, Kimi Räikkönen, Felipe Massa. Lewis Hamilton is a very big name, and will definitely, as I said, ruffle a few feathers. I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be fascinating how he does in this season as last for Mercedes.
I think in 2025 that there's a new rule coming in for the cars.
Right.
And they were saying that he's probably looked at where Mercedes are, and he wants that 8th title. I don't care what you say. If I was him on 7, I'd want 8 because I don't want to go out being equal with Schumacher. I want to go out and be the best one there's ever been. I don't think Mercedes can offer him that, and I think
no.
I think you look at. I can remember when the McLaren, Marlboro McLaren were winning everything. I can go back to when the John Player Specials were winning everything. Lotus were winning. It's like football. You get these periods where one team, whether that's racing or football, dominate for whatever reason, and it is very unfair because it is down to money, and we know that the big ones have got money. And I just think at the moment, it was Mercedes for many years. Now it's Red Bull, and how long that will go on for, I don't know. But Mario Andretti didn't get. I mean, why didn't they let him come into the sport?
Words beggars belief, mate. I really do not know. I really do not know. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. You've got what was it? Alpha Tori have got a new name. Visa RB Cash App F1 team.
Bloody hell.
Now, whoever has basically came up with that name is either deluded or drunk.
Yes.
Because it's a ridiculous name.
And Red Bull have got 2 teams, haven't they? They've got 2. So, what was that? Alpha Tori? That was their second team, wasn't it? Yeah.
Alpha Tori been renamed Visa RB Cash App F1 team.
I don't know, but I just think that why can't we have more cars in? Because to be honest with you, Nate says there, when we got the F1 watch-alongs at the start of the season, yes, they were fun. Unfortunately, they stopped being fun, A, at the end of the day because the F1 stopped me using the graphics, but B, it was, Verstappen, Verstappen got pole, Verstappen was going to win it. And I stopped watching it. I stopped my subscription to the F1, and I don't know what's going to take me back. If it's the same again next season, I'm not going to watch it. I haven't, they sent me things saying, do I want to download the calendar again? I went, no. I said, because I'm not bothered when you race, because I just know what it's going to be like. And that is one hell of a boring race every 2 weeks. So surely the more teams you let in, the more exciting it would be. Yeah,
but obviously the FIA don't want to have a new team come in, which is very, 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 very sad.
Yeah. Right, just looking at some last-minute deals here. It says here, no problems expected for Brozier deal. I thought they'd actually completed that. He's gone to Fulham, of course. Things are bad when the Leicester Mercury's website is giving an update on an Ipswich signing rather than a Leicester signing. So, of course, they've signed Keith Moore, who used to be there before, didn't he?
I believe so, yeah. I think he was a Cardiff as well, Keith Moore. It's a very good signing. He knows that league very, very well.
Yeah, I see why he's done it here. You may remember that it was the breakdown in Moore's move to Cardiff last summer that stopped Daka joining Bournemouth on deadline day. There
you go then.
Yeah. And it's funny, when I was looking, because last time we played, who is it? I forgot, Stoke, just on the bloody preview. Last time we played Stoke, Inacho got one and Vardy got one. And now you're looking at they're probably our third and fourth choice strikers. All in one season.
It's amazing how things work out, isn't it?
Yeah. 15 minutes to go, everybody, exactly. 14 minutes, 53 seconds. And there's still absolutely no news about Leicester City. Every time they bring up breaking news, I get a little excited. But they're just saying that a player has chosen Tottenham over Barcelona. Well, he's going to be shit then, isn't he? If he's made that decision. Any surprises for you? I mean, I think probably the Jesse Lingard is the biggest one.
Yeah, I would say Jesse Lingard. A very, very strange one, that. South Korea. Yeah, it just doesn't strike me as the kind of move that he would want to make, but it's entirely up to him. But yeah, nothing really surprising. I mean, there's been a few moves. I mean, Alex Pritchard from Sunderland to Birmingham, for example. Obviously, Alex Pritchard played under Tony Mowbray at Sunderland, and now he's going to Birmingham under Tony Mowbray. So, a player is obviously very, very happy to, sign for that manager. If that manager can get the best out of him, then I think Alex Pritchard is a very good signing for Birmingham. And again, Tony Mowbray's he did a very good job at Sunderland. Seems to be doing a good job at Birmingham.
I like him. I like Tony Mowbray as a manager. And I think the Birminghams. I was talking to a couple of Birmingham people I had on my channels, and I mean, I can still to not this point understand the signing of Rooney.
Jeez, no.
I mean, Jesus. I mean, he's available. There's been memes of him on the phone to Liverpool going round, but that was. I mean, they got rid of a manager who had got them to sort of 6. All right, they maybe weren't going to get promoted this year, but they were 6 when they sacked him, and I think like 16th when they sacked Rooney.
That was, yeah. I mean, to basically put it into words, Birmingham City sacked John Eustace when they were 6th. Brought in Wayne Rooney. 2 wins out of 15 games later, they were 20th.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was just a move that was never, ever going to work. And again, it kind of goes to show that what you'd basically do in America doesn't mean you can do a very good job in England.
No, not at all. Jesse Marsh. Look, the Ginger Minger's in. Turf Moorhouse, Dan. How are you doing, sir? I've seen you almost as little as I've seen Doug. I hope you two are going to be ready for us when we come back up next season. That said, will Burnley still be there? Are we going to wave at each other? We waved at each other back in May, Dan. Are we going to be waving at each other again this May?
Hello, Dan. Hope you're well, mate.
Oh, going down. Oh, come on, Dan, it's football. Joe Smith says a rich young man should go where he fancies. Lingard to play free in Mongolia if he fancies the fresh air. Yeah, they can do, but I just think he still has a. I don't think he's past it. I think he would still make a good signing for a Championship club, or even somebody like a Luton or whatever,
Yeah, I mean, if he's not someone who wants to get a big wage packet somewhere, then fair dues. But yeah, South Korea it's a very weird move. I've got to say, look,
it is weird.
Well, see how he does over there. But yeah, that was a very, very strange move. And actually, it's quite strange as well that nobody in Saudi Arabia wanted him as well.
No. I keep getting distracted by breaking news and just in, and I get a little bit excited, and then I get unexcited again. It's going to be another wave past. We know. Wow, still got a fair way to go. And then they're just talking to Nate. Let me ask you, because I said it's been a while, Doug, and I say there's absolutely nothing happening for either of our two clubs at the moment. Can you do it this season? There's a little bit, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to put my cards on the table. I hope you don't, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, because if you win, that means you've got 2 and we've only got 1. So in that way, but look, I like Liverpool. If it's a Liverpool or Man United, give me Liverpool every day of the week. I love the club. I remember them from when I was growing up, pre-Alex Ferguson at Man United days. Alan Turfmore's just said, anything good happening? Not a lot. You have just made a signing, by the way. Burnley have just made a signing. I have no idea who it was because I wasn't paying attention. But they were just over at Turf Moor. Bournemouth have made a signing as well. But yes, do you think you can do it, Doug?
It's going to be difficult because obviously Man City have got a game in hand, but I think to be 5 points clear at this stage of the season, I think you'd want to be ahead than have a game in hand, because I think the game in hand gives you more sort of pressure. I think if we win tomorrow on Sunday against Arsenal, we've got a relatively sorry, Dan, we've got a relatively sort of good run of games coming up. We've got Burnley at home, we've got Brentford away, we've got the Carabao Cup, then we've got the FA Cup, then it is Manchester City. That's the biggie at Anfield. If we were to beat Arsenal, we were to beat City, we're in a very, very good, strong position. I know we'll have the Europa League in between in March as well, but never say never. I mean, I'll honestly say this: if we manage to get anything between, 1 or 2 trophies, I will definitely take that. I think we can win the League Cup. I really do. I think if you look at how poor Chelsea were last night, they'll definitely not be as poor as they were in they certainly won't be as poor as they will be in the final. So that'll be as closer than many people think as well. As long as we're there or thereabouts by the sort of the run in by April, May, then we've always got a chance. But it's going to be very, very difficult. I do still think it is still between Liverpool and City. I think Arsenal are definitely going to fall away at some point because they're Arsenal. Simple as that.
Yeah. No, totally agree with you. And Luton had a good win the other day. Sorry, I've got to ask this, Dan. Which 3 are going down?
Sheffield United.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Burnley, but I think it's looking more and more likely it will be Burnley. I'm sorry, Luke, if you're in the chat. I think Forest could potentially go down because of their points deduction. I think Luton could potentially stay up. I've been very impressed with the way that Luton have actually done recently, and that 4-0 win against Brighton was very, very impressive. So I'll say Sheffield United, Burnley, and Nottingham Forest for me.
But do you think, all right, we talk about points deduction. There could be another one for Everton. There could be this one for Forest. By the time they've got off their arses and decided to do it, you've then got got an appeal. By the time that's all sorted, it'll probably be next season when, if they've been too good to go down as it is, you can't then retrospectively relegate them, can you?
Yeah, that's going to open a whole lot of can of worms, Chris, mate. It really, really will. But I think if Everton and Forest were to get more points deductions, then I think that makes it very, very interesting, and it certainly gives Burnley the chance to stay in the league as well. But I think Sheffield United going 1-0 and then 2-0 up on 1-0 and then 2-1 up on Crystal Palace and not seeing that game out kind of just says to me that they're gone. I don't see them getting out of it.
No. Why is it taking years for Man City to get punished? Man City they can afford the lawyers they'll just tie that up in court for about 10 years, And we are into the last 5 minutes now, into 4 minutes 59 seconds, and it's still nothing happening for Leicester. Nothing's happening now. That Swansea news that we've shown you before is the last thing that's happened. They've swooped for Norwich's Platachi. I'm just having a look for that Burnley one. I can't remember who they signed now.
Someone from Auxerre, I know that. But, I know. El Assignon from Rennes to Burnley. I think that might be it, but I'm not
Rennes
sure.
Is correct. But I just sorry, I saw claret and blue there, and it was Villa, not Burnley. Burnley seal Assignon. Yeah, Assignon loan deal. You're right, from Rennes. He's a 23-year-old right back. Might as well talk Burnley, because Leicester aren't doing anything. Norwich have just signed Van Hooijdonk on loan with an option to buy. I am signed at kind of trying to make myself feel better by convincing myself that everybody else around us is buying to try and keep up with us.
Yeah. Because you look at what Southampton did. I think they signed David Brooks from Bournemouth, I think, on loan until the end of the season. That is a very good move.
They have sold one of their very best players, Southampton.
Yeah, Alcaraz, I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
obviously, if he's not getting his game, then obviously get him off the wage bill as well. But I've got to say, Alcaraz was one of a few bright sparks in that Southampton side last season. So I am very surprised that they got rid of him.
Yeah. I don't know what you're on there, but who the hell is Lawrence Shankland?
Heart striker, yes. Look,
oh, is he?
I
never heard of him.
yeah.
2.5 minutes to go, everybody. Sorry, just to say 2.5 minutes.
I do see if Lawrence Shankland continues the way he's been playing, then I do think he will get a move. I think as well, if he gets picked by Steve Clark for the Euros, then again he'll make himself more marketable, and it will give Hearts more opportunity to get cash in if you like as well. I do think he's good enough to be maybe sort of a bottom half Premier League side, maybe a Championship side. He's a very good striker, and he deserves a move. He's done very well at Hearts, but I do think that he does deserve a move.
Leeds have loaned Poveda to Sheffield Wednesday. So 23-year-old. We are into a minute and a half. It isn't going to happen, is it?
I suppose all we just have to wait and see. But yeah, I think with about a minute to go, if anything happens, beyond sort of the 11 o'clock deadline, then we'll wait and see. But yeah, I think it's looking a bit bleak, I'm afraid, for you.
Yeah, I mean, Dan said here, Fabrizio said the Sensi move is on the brink of collapse. Yeah, they've been saying that for the last hour. It's down to work permits. Of course, we're not in the EU now, so that does add another spanner in the wheel, as they say. We've got to think about work permits, and this is a player. Although he's an international, he's hardly played for his club this season. And when you've only played 3 times for a club, you can't just sign them. I think they've got to have played a certain percentage of games. I'm looking at it now, and we are a minute to go. Now we haven't got any time left. Window is closed. Well, 25 seconds it says there, but the window is closed. Oh, well, that was a bit of a damp squib. All in all,
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, if it had happened, it had happened. I'm not going to cry over it, because the signings we made. I mean, when you look at the signings we made, we bought Doyle in from Man City, a great signing. Left-footed, left centre back. We've bought Mavididi. Permanently, Winks. How the hell do we get Winks for 10 million? I'm sorry, but he has been the signing of. It was certainly the signing of the summer window, and I don't think we'll see a better signing in the Championship for the whole season. He is like the bloody Duracell bunny. He's all over the bloody pitch. He is. Yeah, I'm sure he goes in, goes back into the changing room after the match, opens his back up and takes his batteries out. I'm trying to do a commentary, and he's on the left front one moment, then 2 seconds later he's back on the left, and great signing. Cody we haven't really used because we've had Vestergaard suddenly has come excellently good this season. Fatawu, my God. What a signing. I'm sure
he's been fantastic.
Yeah, Chelsea, I'm sure, are already preparing their £80 million bid for him for the 2025 window. What a signing. And if we go up, we've got to buy him. Yeah. He is. I mean, he got sent off stupidly against Coventry. Look, he had a rush of blood to the head. He missed 3 games. We'd have had those 3 games lost anyway if he'd gone to AFCON. What a signing. Manson in goal. Well, yeah, I mean, Everson would look like he was going to be our number one going into the summer, into the season. He dropped down to third. He's gone over to Stoke, and I say the Stoke lady that I was speaking to earlier, Rory, lovely young girl, said he's being absolutely shit. So I think we did well to get rid of. Breaking news. Oh, it's Forest. We're not bothered. Who gives a shit about Forest? Let's face it. They've got about 4 teams worth of players anyway. Anybody that you've held on to at Liverpool that you thought might have left, Doug?
Not really. I think it's probably more the summer. I think is going to be. I think Mo Salah is going to be the big one. I think in the summer. So we need to wait and see about that one. But yeah, I think we've kept the majority of our squad. I don't think there's any real sort of surprises. It's just basically, as I said, players sort of going out on loan from sort of the youth academy. So yeah, it's just. I think it's been a very, very good window for us, and it's been a quiet window as well. Like nothing's really happened.
Just signed goalkeeper Matt Sells for £5 million. But as you can see there, the Sensi deal is off. John Percy, the Telegraph, is reporting. We've been waiting all day for a positive update, and he'll look to be on when Sensi arrived in the UK for his medical this afternoon. But the reports are that City could not agree a deal with Inter. It seems as if the financial regulations have proven too problematic. It went from we were interested in him into not wanting to sell, into having a couple of injuries, so they wanted to keep him just in case. Then we were going to loan him until the end of the season with an option to buy, or we had to buy him if we got promoted. Then we were going to buy him for a full. Permanently for a season and a half, and it's been everything. Only Leicester could cock this up. But look, what is the point? If we get promoted, and we get promoted by 10 points, and then we get docked 10 points for breaking FFP, we would be absolutely going mad at the board, wouldn't we?
Yeah, 100%. As we both said, you don't really need to make any moves. It would have been an absolute bonus if you had got Sensi, but I think that could be another one you could potentially try in the summer, because I think players will definitely be moving on to other clubs for sure. So yeah, try again in the summer, and you'll probably get them.
And I think as well, depending where we are in the summer, because we don't want to go mad and buy all these players in, and then we don't get promoted. All right, it looks unlikely, let's be honest with you, but stranger things have happened. We've seen teams come from nowhere to get promoted. It could just as easily work round the other way, and we don't want to be sort of left with them, paying huge wages. And then the other side, of course, is if we do get promoted, we can then spend a lot more, and we'd want a different level of player probably anyway.
100%.
And as Joe says there, and we touched on this earlier, we've got £100 million training complex. Baybrook and Alves, who hang on, Justin. Oh no, it's the bald-headed git from the red side of Manchester. I still have a job, Mr. Mourinho. But I mean, we've got those players to come through as well, and why not use them and save ourselves, lots of millions. But look, Doug, it's been absolutely great to have you on. It's been lovely seeing you again. It's been a while. All the best to the good lady, and of course to little baby Nathan as well.
Thank you very much, mate. It's been a pleasure to be back on, and I won't leave it sort of 6 months the last time we did something. But thank you very much for having me. It has been a pleasure. And I'm sorry.
Give a shout out where people can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on the Dugout Football channel on YouTube. I'm sporadically sort of getting back into YouTube. With having a little one, it's quite difficult to get streams and do sort of videos. So sporadically getting sort of back into the swing of things. But yeah, the Dugout Football channel on YouTube. You can find me also on Twitter, enrod_1992, Facebook, and TikTok as well.
What you could always do, of course, is branch out and have the Dugout nappy changing channel.
I don't think that would get many views, to be fair.
You might have the odd shit review, but who knows?
Hey.
But I was just thinking, combine two things there for you. But whatever happens, hopefully we'll see you next season.
Yes.
It would be nice, and that's obviously us coming up because you know where you're going down, unless you've been naughty with FFP. But if not, we're going to have to do obviously a Euro 25 shit shirt show.
Oh, 100%. I absolutely love those shows. And yeah, we'll definitely need to be doing that. And anyway, if you need any if one of Brad or Ant can't do the prediction show, let me know, and I'll be able to find a space free for you.
I'm not doing that show anymore because I'm doing an extra radio show on Friday night. So,
excellent.
So I'm not breaking news. Sorry, no, it's not. It's just old breaking news. So yeah, but I will pass that on to Brad. He'll be doing it. No, thank you very much, and all the best, mate. And I'm going off because I'm going to be talking about nappies. I need a poo. I thought I'd leave that with that one.
always on to lower the tone, Chris. But thank you very much for having me.
What a way to leave the show. Take care, mate.
Absolutely.
All the best.
You too. Thank you, mate. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks to Doug there, and I will be back. On Saturday at 2:15 for the watch along as we travel to the Britannia. Oh no, it's not the Britannia. It's Bet365 Stadium. Don't ever want to play at Stoke on a windy Saturday. But there is another show tomorrow at 7 with Ant and with Brad. They're doing the prediction show. Don't talk about the prediction show. I'm not doing very well in that. Thanks to everybody that's been watching. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Nice to see a couple of old faces again. Even the ginger ones, Dan. And thanks very, very much to Doug for popping on and keeping me company. Otherwise, I'd have just been talking away to myself, talking probably total nonsense. If you've been listening on the podcast, thank you very much for lending me your ears. You can have them back now. You can go off and clean them. Please do. Like I say, see you on Saturday. Have a good one. Take care now. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
The TalkSport Fan Network is the ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts,
including Leicester Till I Die, independent analysis and reaction for the Foxes faithful.
The TalkSport Fan Network.
Unbeatable club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Follow the podcast on the TalkSport Fan Network.